You know that little rush of excitement when you're at the airport, boarding pass in hand, adventure waiting on the other side? Yeah, me too. But let's be real. Crammed seats, loud passengers, overhead bin chaos. We've all been there, trapped in a flying metal tube, just hoping for a smooth ride. But here's something most people don't realize. A lot of that stress is actually caused by passengers breaking unspoken flying rules. From seat switching mistakes to bin disasters. Even one thing that can get you dirty looks from an entire plane. These are the unwritten rules of flying that can make or break your experience. And rule number 5, even frequent flyers get this one wrong. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the wild world of airplane etiquette. Alright, picture this. You're running late for your flight. The clock is ticking and every second feels like an eternity. Your heart's racing, you're sweating through your shirt, and then you finally make it to security, only to find a line that stretches all the way to baggage claim. Your stomach drops, panic sets in. You start scanning the crowd, looking for a way out. Then it hits you. Ask someone to let you cut the line. Excuse me, my flight is boarding. Can I please cut ahead? We've all heard it, maybe even said it ourselves. But here's the thing, that's a big no-no. You're putting people in an impossible situation. Do they say yes and risk missing their own flight? Or do they say no and feel like the world's biggest jerk? No one wants to deal with that guilt trip. So here's the move. Look for an airport staff member. They're trained to handle situations like this. Explain your situation. No need for drama. If your flight is actually about to leave, they can escort you forward. No stress, no awkward guilt trips, just a smooth solution. Everyone is stressed about catching their flight. A little courtesy goes a long way. So next time you're in a rush, skip the guilt trip and find the right way through. Let's talk about a travel mistake that seems harmless but could actually be a disaster. Asking strangers to watch your bags. You've seen it. Someone's rushing to the bathroom, juggling a backpack, a neck pillow, and a carry-on. Then they just turn to the nearest person and say, "Hey, can you watch my stuff?" Look, I get it, we've all been there. But here's the problem. You have no idea who that person is. They could be totally trustworthy, or they could be not. What if they suddenly have to leave, and now they're stuck with your stuff? Or worse, what if something happens? An abandoned bag is a major red flag for airport security. Now, you're not just putting yourself at risk. You're putting that poor stranger in a really awkward position. The solution? Simple. Take your bags with you. Always. Yes, even to the bathroom. A little inconvenience beats a full-blown airport disaster. The case against bare feet. All right, let's talk about a flight crime that happens way too often. No, it's not babies crying, not people hogging the armrest. It's bare feet. Yep, the horror. Now, I get it. You've been in shoes all day. Your feet are tired. You just want to let them breathe, right? Well, let me stop you right there, because the airplane floor is not your living room carpet. Let's talk about what's actually on that floor. Dirt from hundreds of people's shoes, spilled coffee, soda, who knows what else. And the airplane bathroom floor? Oh, you really don't want to know. Let's just say turbulence and tiny toilets don't mix. And now you want to rub your feet all over that? Here's the thing. It's not just about germs. It's about the poor souls sitting near you. Nobody paid for a foot show at 35,000 feet. Especially if those feet aren't exactly fresh. It's a matter of basic human decency. The solution is easy. Bring socks or travel slippers, anything but raw feet. It takes up zero space and keeps you from becoming that passenger. Untitled chapter. Switching seats on a plane seems harmless, right? But here's the thing. It's not always fair. There's an unspoken rule that most travelers don't realize. If the person in the window seat offers to switch, that's fine. But if someone else asks the window passenger to move, that's where the problem starts. If the person in the window seat chooses to swap, it's fair. They're giving up their own seat voluntarily, no pressure, no problem. The other person can either accept or decline, and nobody loses out. That's a fair trade. Now, let's flip the situation. If a middle or aisle passenger asks the window seat person to move, it's unfair. Here's why. People choose window seats for a reason. The view, the wall to lean on, fewer interruptions. Some even pay extra for it. Asking them to move is asking them to downgrade. It's not an equal trade. Window for aisle? Maybe. Window for middle? Never. And let's be honest, the middle seat is nobody's first choice. So next time you fly, keep this in mind. Switching is fine if it's fair. Overhead bin Jenga. Overhead bin Jenga. We've all been there. You board the plane, excited to get to your seat, only to find the overhead bins already full. It's a frustrating start to your journey, especially when you got a heavy carry-on that you now have to lug around. But here's the kicker. There's no one even sitting in your row yet. What gives? It's like a game of overhead bin Jenga, and you're losing before you even get a chance to play. Well, some people think it's okay to stash their carry-on bags and bins way ahead of their seats, just so they can keep an eye on them. They believe it's a clever strategy, but it's really just a nuisance for everyone else. That's not how this works. It's not a free-for-all where you can claim any space you like. That's like showing up to a parking lot and taking up 2 spaces just because you want to make sure no one parks too close to your car. It's selfish, it's inconsiderate, and it messes up the entire boarding process for everyone else. Imagine the chaos it causes when everyone is trying to find a spot for their bags. The rule is simple. Store your carry-on above your own seat. It's a straightforward guideline that ensures everyone has a fair chance to store their belongings. If there's no space, ask a flight attendant for help. They're there to assist and can often find a solution that you might not have considered. They're pros at this stuff, and they'll find a spot for your bag. Trust in their expertise to make the boarding process smoother. This simple act of common courtesy can prevent delays, frustration, and the ultimate awkward shuffle as everyone tries to find a place for their stuff. The reclining dilemma. The reclining dilemma. All right, let's talk about one of the most controversial moves in the air travel playbook. Reclining your seat. Look, I get it. You're stuck in a cramped seat. You're tired. You just want to get comfortable. But here's the thing. Reclining your seat, especially in economy, is a delicate dance. You have to be aware of the person behind you. Are they trying to eat? Are they working on their laptop? Are they about to spill their drink all over themselves because you just slammed your seat back without warning? The last thing you want to do is make an enemy at 35,000 feet. So here's the deal. If you absolutely must recline your seat, give the person behind you a heads up. A simple, "Hey, is it cool if I recline my seat a bit?" goes a long way. And for the love of all that is holy, do it slowly. No one wants to get whiplash because you decided to recline at warp speed. The airplane food fiasco. The airplane food fiasco. All right, let's talk about something that can make or break a flight for everyone involved. Food, specifically the food you bring on board. Now, I'm all for packing snacks. Airplane food can be expensive, and let's be honest, not always that appetizing. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. The wrong way, bringing on food that smells like it could clear out a subway car. Think about it. Airplane air is already pretty stale. The last thing anyone wants is to be trapped in a metal tube with the overpowering aroma of your tuna sandwich or that egg salad you packed from home. The right way? Stick to snacks that are low on odor and high on flavor. Crackers, dried fruit, nuts, those little cheese and cracker packs. These are all great options. They're not going to offend anyone's nostrils, and they'll keep your stomach from rumbling during that long flight. Bon voyage and happy travels. So there you have it, folks. 7 unspoken rules of flying that, frankly, everyone should know. Look, I get it. Traveling can be stressful, and sometimes we forget our manners when we're crammed into a tiny seat with 100 strangers. But by following these simple tips, you can make the experience a little bit better for yourself and everyone around you. And trust me, a little bit of kindness goes a long way in the friendly skies. Now go forth and travel with a little more etiquette and a lot less stress. See you on the next adventure.